The truth about you that no one talks about. Episode 3. Welcome back to the channel for our third episode in the series, The Truth About You That No One Talks About. Before diving into today's discussion, let's quickly recap the key points from our previous episodes. We firstly briefly discussed about your true origin, that you created everything that ever was and will be from your exalted place in the fifth dimension, the domain of Christ consciousness, where there is no separation, only unity. And then you initiated creation by creating the fourth dimension, the unseen heavens, and the third dimension, the physical world. We then discussed on the necessity of duality in the fourth and third dimensions, that you designed good and evil to nourish growth within these two dimensions. To rule over duality, you created the first light to be the ultimate manifestation of all the good and all the bad. This first light is what is often referred to as the false light, the domain of the gods and the devils, where both polarities, dualities, depends on one another as the crest and trough of the same light wave. We discussed how this truth is reflected in Genesis, where the first light you created is symbolic of this dual nature. The serpent, too, represents this dynamic, embodying the undulating movement of light itself. Everything that was created by you and in you. Nothing is outside you because you as Christ in the Christ consciousness is the source of all. The gods and devils of the fourth dimension have worked as the architects of the creation, forming different parts of the creation according to their natures. The gods and devils, the domain of the false light, have modified and manipulated the growth of different elements of the creation in the third dimension and the lower part of the fourth dimensions under their rule according to their nature. Some have even deliberately or indeliberately presented themselves as the primordial creators to the beings of the third dimension, lacking in the knowledge of the cosmos and creation. They have worked to manifest everything they could manifest in the third dimension according to the patterns you established for them. Every species, every cycle, every season was engineered within you and by you. And at each stage of creation, you saw that it was good. Now, let's deepen our exploration by focusing on one crucial aspect that may have been too vague in our previous discussion: the first light and its relationship to duality. 1. The first light and the growth of duality. The first light that you created in the fourth dimension was the seed of all dualities. From this root, the tree of duality emerged, branching out across multiple layers of existence until it bore fruit. This first fruit was none other than man himself, the final manifestation of duality within creation. Just as a fruit contains the full genetic code of the tree that bore it, so too did man contain within him the complete history of creation, from its origins to its future. Man was the culmination of all dualities, both the product and the bearer of its knowledge. 2. Your descent into creation. As Christ consciousness, you existed outside of these lower dimensions, yet you desired to experience your creation firsthand. You wanted to taste the fruit of duality, to feel what it was like to exist within your own design. To do this, you descended into the body of man, embedding yourself in the very essence of duality itself. This was the moment of the fall, the moment you veiled your divine awareness in the mortal form of man. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. John 1:14. By incarnating into the third-dimensional world, you subjected yourself to the illusions of separation, the experience of good and evil. The act of taking on human form mirrored the biblical story of the serpent, enticing Adam to eat the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. The serpent, representing the wave-like motion of light, symbolized your descent into matter, your choice to enter the lower frequencies of creation. 3. Eden. The Garden of Consciousness. When you entered the body of the man, Adam, you brought your fifth dimensional awareness into this third dimensional being that primary had his third dimensional awareness. It was a shared awareness where two dimensions met. You came as the gift and fruit from your Christ consciousness domain, and Adam was the fruit of the duality, the third dimension. To the third dimensional being, Adam, this shared awareness, especially the presence of the fifth dimensional awareness in his being, made his experience and the entire being and body feel like a heaven on earth. The human vessel became like a garden, Eden itself. It was a paradise, for a divine awareness had descended into it. The fifth dimension awareness made Adam's being and dimension felt like the real heaven on earth. This was not the heaven of the fourth dimension, but a paradise from the realm beyond, the fifth dimension. Within this new shared existence, two seeds were planted at the very center of this being, this shared awareness. First was the seed of your pure Christ consciousness, the eternal light. This was a seed from the descended gift fruit of Christ consciousness. This was the seed of eternal life. This was the seed of the prime creator. The second was the seed of duality, the genetic code of creation, containing knowledge of good and evil. This was the seed of the false light, the seed of the light wave, and its creation, the seed of the serpent. These seeds were meant to grow together, to offer a bridge between transcendence and experience. However, something profound happened. 4. Eating the seed of duality. Eating a fruit is not truly consuming it unless you eat its seed. You had already begun partaking in duality by entering into the body of man, but it was not until you fully consumed its seed that the fall became complete. This is why it is shown in the Bible that Adam, even before eating the fruit, already knew the concepts of good and evil. Otherwise, why would God warn him about its consequences? Eating the fruit was not about gaining knowledge of good and evil. It was about internalizing that knowledge, making it a lived experience. It was about eating the seed to make that experience alive in you. The deep descent and the path to redemption. When you consumed the seed of duality, you were plunged into the depths of separation, into what could be described as a bottomless pit. You fell so deeply into the illusion of duality that you forgot your true essence. You became lost in suffering, confusion, and forgetfulness. There was no one to save you because there was none other than you. Yet, within you, buried at the center of your being, one seed remained, the eternal seed of Christ consciousness, the same seed that could lead you back home. However, it wasn't easy for you to see this other seed, for the eating of that first seed had led into the ultimate darkness that you had never felt before, the unimaginable forgetfulness that you could neither see nor remember where exactly did your shared agreement and contract place that other seed. You couldn't see the center or anything else. It was all suffering and darkness. This is what often is referred to as the dark night of the soul. This was a point towards the second coming of you as Christ, to save yourself and your reality and everything in it. Reflection and closing thoughts. As we wrap up today's discussion, let's ponder a few questions. How does understanding duality shift your perception of good and evil in your own life? What does the story of Eden mean to you now, knowing that it represents an internal experience of consciousness? How can you awaken the Christ consciousness within you amidst the duality of daily life? In the next episode, we will delve deeper into the mystery of the two seeds, the seed of the serpent and the seed of the woman, the Christ and the Antichrist, unveiling how they play a role in the spiritual journey of every human being. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery. If this resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more explorations into the profound mysteries of your being. Until next time, keep seeking, keep questioning, and remember, you are the light.